We're going to be going over the complete starting phase of using GPT-4 and the API. If you've been struggling with this, if you've been worried about how to get started and all these things, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. All right. So we're going to go through that and let me know in the comment section down below. Are you watching this live, or if you're doing this on replay, do hashtag replay. Okay, so we're going to first start where you are, what you're struggling with. We're going to be talking about how to get started with OpenAI, creating an account, getting started with GPT-4, doing your first call, and all of those things. And we're going to be starting right now. Now, my name is Doc Williams, and I help people or businesses just like yourself to do this every single day. So if you need help, make sure you contact me. There's going to be a link down below. But remember, we're giving you the power to do this yourself. And we teach this all the time, from 100 days of no code, where we show people how to use the power of no code and low code to create your project or your startup, to everyday people. So we're going to get started right now. And if you want, there is a section down below where you can actually get the whole guide that I'm going to be going through for free right now. Okay. So let's get right into this. Okay. So the very first thing is, to begin with, you're going to create an account with OpenAI. Once you create an account, you're going to go and you're going to sign up. You can sign up for free. And then what you're going to do also is, to get access to GPT-4, it's important that you go on the wait list and you request access to this. Okay. So you see how you can first create an account by, it says get started. Then down below, you can see learn about GPT-4. And then afterwards, you can join the API waitlist. Now, this is going to allow you to gain access to GPT-4 and use this. And we're going to be showing you how to use this in just a moment. But jump on the waitlist, make sure you're on that, and you'll be good to go to get started. Okay. Once you get on the wait list and you get into your account, you're going to be able to see a couple different things. You're going to first be able to manage your account, be able to view your usage and all of those things, and get ready to use GPT-4. Okay, so after you update your billing information, we're going to talk about the next section that you want to do. Is you're going to have to think about, before you start using GPT-4 or whatever you want to do, think about what are the couple things that you want to try to use GPT for. And if you haven't thought about, go to the example section, and this is going to allow you to think about, what do I want to use it? Instead of just using it for chat features, you could be doing this where you could be comparing movies or getting information from different databases. You could be doing translate. So say, for instance, you don't know how to do SQL queries or ask things, you can do a normal language and then be able to do SQL queries. The list goes on, and you can look at this under examples. This is really important, because then you kind of think about use cases to start using GPT-4 with. Okay. Okay. After you do that, you're going to now be ready to get started. And again, if you want a copy, it's down below in the comment section. Just download it and we'll be good to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is refer Glenn at the Flow, which is awesome guy. Joe, no problem for this. And let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. But thanks so much for being here. Glenn talks about how to do this with 3.5. It's the same way. So although we're going to be showing you how to use GPT-4, if you have access to GPT 3.5 Turbo, it's the same exact step-by-step process. Okay. So we're going to go through this right now. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be logging in, make sure that I get my documentation on point. And what we're going to be doing right here is just doing an API request, and we're going to be posting. Okay. So if you're unfamiliar with APIs, that just means two different systems are going to talk to each other. We're going to actually be able to do a query. We're going to talk to OpenAI and we're going to get a response back. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay. So what we're going to do right here is, we're going to create a chat completion. So we're going to get a post request. Okay. And I'm going to put this in the comment section down below. Okay. And let me know in the comment section, are you new at this? Do you already have experiences with APIs? Are you just getting started or are you a hobbyist? Let me know. Okay, because we can go deeper on this as well. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get the information under chat for the API reference. So chat is going to allow us to do a post request, and we're going to need to know this information right here. It says request. We're going to need to know the model. So this allows us to understand, are we going to be using 3.5 turbo, which is the model? What model are we using right here? Let's zoom in, do this. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, continuous. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the model endpoints. So we're going to be looking at chat. Scroll down. Okay. So you see how it's GPT-4. If we have access to this, then we can start using it. We could be using GPT 3.5 Turbo, all of those things. Okay. So this is where we're going to get our information, how we're going to do our request. Okay. So we go back. Let's zoom out for a second. All we're going to do is do a simple request out. So let me zoom out, chat, comparisons. Okay, and we're just going to use this parameter right here. Okay, let's go here. Okay, step by step. So now that we have our account set up, we have our documentation all right here, copied and all of these things. Now the next thing that we're going to do is call the request, and we're just going to use Insomnia because Insomnia is going to allow us to test the API and see what we did. Okay, we're going to be able to do this. So Insomnia, I'm using a Mac. I'm going to be using this. You can start for free with this. If not, you can use a lot of different platforms, but Insomnia is pretty easy to get started with. Okay, so we're going to be doing this. Okay, so I'm going to exit screen share, and I'm going to show you my my other screen in a second. Hold on one second. Coming over here, bringing this over, and then you're going to be able to see Insomnia in a second. Insomnia. Here we go. Bring this here. Insomnia. Okay. All right. So this might look like a lot all of a sudden, but we're going to make this really easy. Okay. So this is where we're going to be talking to the OpenAI. The first section that we're going to do is you're going to click this little button and you're going to do the HTTP request. So it's just like you're talking to Google and you're requesting something. You're going to do the same thing with OpenAI. So you're going to click that, and then that's going to allow you to again create another type of um, uh, interaction, how you're going to be talking to OpenAI. Now, if you look at it, this is a post request, but here you're going to go step by step and be able to change this out. So you're going to be able to change out what's going on in the headers. You're going to be able to change the authorization to how it's going to be talking to the system, and then we're going to send it. So how do we do this? Okay. The first section, what we did was the headers. We changed the content to the content type. So we did content type. Then we did the application. It's a JSON file right there. Then from there, we changed the authorization type to an API key, and you get the API key from your OpenAI account. So we added all of this, and this is really important. You're going to add a bearer space and then your API key, and that's what you're going to be putting here. And then your JSON, which is basically our instructions. What we're saying is right here, we're looking at the model that we're using, and then we're looking at the message and then the content. So just like if I'm on using ChatGPT and I'm asking it a question, I'm telling it what I want. Okay. So if you notice right here, the model, and if anyone's been using GPT-4 right now, there's an error. So right now I can't call and do GPT-4, but it's the same exact thing. Where it says GPT 3.5 Turbo, I would just change it and put GPT-4. Okay. Now, what did I ask it? I said, write me a bedtime story about a Jabberwocky. And then if you look at it right here, it wrote the request. 200 okay, which means it went through, everything like that. it shows me it took it 11 seconds, and then it wrote me a story about our Alice in Wonderland, and it did that right here. Okay, so again, I can change this. I can say, let's see, write me a story um about Babe Ruth. Okay, so I can do that. I can write that down. I can send it. And so I'm doing the request right now. It's going to take a couple seconds. We're going to see if it works. And again, we're just doing the request. We're actually talking to the system, seeing if it can go. And it said, okay. So that means it went through at 200. And then right here, Babe Ruth was the most legendary baseball players of all time. And you see, it just wrote me a small story about that. Let me know in the comment section if that makes sense. So right here, what we're doing in Insomnia, just like how if you're using ChatGPT and you're typing in the text and everything like that, they're doing all of that for you. They're already making a structure just like how you're Googling. But right here, we have access to the API, so we can do a lot of things in our application. We can put this in Flutter Flow. We could put it all over because now we have access to the GPT. We have access to the API. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so now that we have this, and you can see how the model is right here. Say, for instance, we'll see if right now they have access and I can do GPT-4. Earlier, GPT-4 was down for API use, but we're going to see if we can do it real quick. It was timing out when I was doing this in practice, so we're going to see this right now. So I'm going back to the documentation right now. On my other screen, I'm looking at the documentation. So it's API platform.openai.com. And I'm going to be switching over and looking at GPT-4 if it's going to be active. So you see how I'm going to be switching out the model right here. Again, remember it was down earlier, so we're going to see if it's up. And it's now going to be looking before it was timing out, but we'll see what it does. Okay. If it goes past 30, it's going to just time it out. So it might be down for a little while. See right here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be down. It's going to time out. Yeah, so you see the error. So now I'm going to switch it back to GPT 3.5 Turbo. Okay, so I'm going to send the request again. Then we're just going to wait. And this is what I like about using Insomnia or something simple like this. You're going to see if it's working, if something's not right, it's going to tell you pretty easily. Okay, so you see how it's back and we're back up. Okay, so that just means it's down. But if you've been using GPT-4 today, there's been error all day. Okay, so that is part one. So we're going to go back to our documentation. And if you're just watching for the first time or just getting here, I'm going to drop the link to get all the notes for free. You just have to sign up and get it. So that's going to be for the GPT-4 for complete beginners. Okay, so let's switch back out and I'm going to go back to the documentation. Okay, switching back right here. And the reason we're going through this is important because if you're a startup or you're thinking about using this and you just need a framework and understand the basics, someone might be building this for you, but you need to know what's going on. This is still really important. All right, this. Okay, so let's discuss. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play you um, Glenn's version of this so you can hear him talk about it. And then we're going to go back to the documentation because I think it's a really good explanation. And remember, he's going to show you from ChatGPT, but it's the same type of documentation. So we're going to go check this out for a second. We're going to watch this and then go back. Share screen. Let's go with a tab. I have way too many tabs. Hold on. Okay. – Then share. Then he's go from here. Let me know if you can hear it. If you can't hear it, just let me know.
Hey there, no coders. The past 24 hours has seen the release of the ChatGPT API. What does that mean for us? What it means is if we're looking to build applications like this, where we're chatting with this AI model and you want to be able to build that into your product, this is now available via the API endpoints. So digging into it a bit deeper, you'll see that the pricing is also what's making this really compelling for us all, because the price of the GPT 3.5 Turbo model, which is the one that is involved now in chat, is now 90% less than it was before. So that's excellent. So digging into the billing, the first thing you need to do is create your billing account or paid account. It's a pay as you go, bills you at the end of the month, set up your card in there, set your usage limits, and that's all you need to do. Make sure you do that before you actually try and query the system. And then as you go to the documentation, you'll see that you've got something called chat completion as a guide. This guide is for developers as well as everybody else. So you'll see that it talks about things that don't necessarily concern us as no coders, but it's still good to get yourself familiar with things like tokens and messaging and responses and things like that. So that's a good guide. Moving down that list to the API reference, we're going to look at the chat completion, the create chat completion endpoint specifically. And you'll see here that you're given the endpoint, we'll use in a minute. It's a post request, and we need to send through a model, the model that we're using, and the message or messages that we're going to send over. I'm going to do the most simple version of this that I can, similar to this one on the right hand side. So if we were to hop over to our Insomnia app on the Mac, the first thing we need to do is create a new endpoint here, new request. We'll start in the headers actually. We'll create the content type of application JSON. In the API key, it's an authorization. And then in the value, it's bearer, space, and then your API key from your OpenAI account. That'll add that to the header. And lastly, it's the JSON request structure that you see here. So we send through the model, GPT 3.5 Turbo. We have the message that we want to send over. It's just a single message inside this array. And we're going to have a role of user content, which is write me a limerick about a rainbow. And as you can see, I have a 200 response that's come back here. And here is my limerick. There once was a bright rainbow so tall, its colours were captivating all. From red to blue, it was quite a view, a true sight to behold in the fall. And that is it done. Looking back in the usage area of your OpenAI account, you'll see that it has had a request come through. It gives you the time. It even tells you the number of tokens and the model that we used. So I hope that gets you started. No coders, I know obviously you're using a whole host of tools, but this is the fundamentals behind the scenes.
Okay. So that is an overview, and that's what we were just talking about, going through this progression of how you can be doing this for yourself. I'm going to be going back here. And again, this is really important as you're getting started as a no coder or a complete beginner. That's the process. So we just went through this. And again, we're going to be reviewing step by step. And if you have questions, let me know. And let me know, was I having trouble with volume? Could you hear me the whole time? Let me know. Jacob, thanks so much for being here, for everyone hanging out. If you have questions, let me know. We're going to be doing a lot of different things as we're wrapping this up. So, okay, again, if you want the notes, it's in the comment section down below. You can grab it. But remember, to get started, create an account, update your billing, and request access to GPT-4, and you're going to be able to get started. If you're just getting started and you're a no coder, what I would encourage you to do is just like what Glenn was talking about, use Insomnia and use something like I think it's Postmark. I'm going to have to Postman. Use that platform, and they're free to get started for you to test out the API and go from there. Okay, you can hear me? Good times. So remember, this is the process right here. We also have a whole other training right here where it's API for beginners for you to understand, documentation, all of those things. We want you to be successful for you to start trying this out for yourself and for you to be successful with your projects. If you want more videos about how to use GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 Turbo for your projects, what you're working on, let me know. And then also too, we have resources if you're trying to use this with Flutterflow. If you're trying to do other projects, let me know as well, because there are tons of different templates out there that you can get started and create your own chat version in Flutterflow. If you're using Flutterflow, let me know in the comment section down below, but we're going to go through this very briefly to look in the marketplace to get started with this as well. So if you sign up for Flutterflow, you can go into the marketplace, go to the beta section, search for just GPT, and then right here, you can go and start using a lot of their different templates already. You could have the Open API GP3 text completion, the Chat GPT and Flutterflow, where you can have your own version and go from there. You can clone the project right away and get started. There's documentation for Flutterflow, how to get started with that as well. Yep. Okay. I see that with Joe. Okay. So you can actually look at the live version to see what it would look like. You can bring it over to your project, and Flutterflow has it on their blog how to make all the changes for your own project in Flutterflow. The reason I would also mention I would use Flutterflow is because the front end already looks great. You don't have to worry about doing anything that will make it look aesthetically pleasing. Flutterflow already has tons of different components in the marketplace to just get started with this. So I would go that. What does Flutterflow use? What idea? Let me know more, Jacob. So what Flutterflow use cases maybe? Let me know if that's what we're talking about. You could do a couple different things with Flutterflow. Let's just bring it up real quick. If that's what you mean, Jacob, just let me know in the comment section. Let me know if it's ideas or what can you do with Flutterflow. For the most part with Flutterflow, I would say if you're trying to have a great experience on mobile, that's what Flutterflow is really proficient at. You can create web pages with Flutterflow right now, but that is a newer thing. They really accelerate with the mobile experience and to really have a mobile app that is going to be native. That's why I would be using Flutterflow. Again, you could use it for websites, but they excel at creating mobile apps and all those things. The reason I also like Flutterflow is too, it's built on Flutter, which is the open source code, like the language that Google released. So if you want to leave Flutterflow, you can export your code and you don't have to worry about it, right? You don't have to do that. Integrated developer environment. Tell me more. Tell me more, Jacob. There's also too what you can be doing with Flutterflow if you're working with developers and you want your code to be, on GitHub and you want to go that route as well. You can do that with Flutterflow and then bring it back into the project as well. It says clone. I was just saying you could use it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Exactly right. Yep. Good stuff. So yeah, there's tons of different things for Flutterflow you can be using. If you want to use, Bubble as well, that's another option. Tons of different things that you can be doing with this. Also, too, we just released another thing that people have been asking for the community. A lot of people were wondering, okay, I like this. I see that this is something that I want to do for the future for my side hustle or, for a business venture, but I just don't want to do it myself. Now we have Docs connections as well. So if you want to request an expert to either mentor you on something for paid mentorship, or you are looking for a vetted expert for a no code project or something like that. Now we have that for Docs Connection as well. We're going to have testimonials that we just had a very good first week that we just launched this. We had a lot of Bubble experts helping people in our community. So we're going to be definitely having that as well. So if you want any help on that, there's that as well. Joe's talking about, excuse me, where is the resource about API for beginners you mentioned? Yes. Real quick. Let me put this in the chat. Here we go. Here we go. And then this is just one of the many different docs under docs, which is like 17 different ones. Actually, we're up to 31 different guides now. But because you're watching for free, you get this one for free as well. So this one will break down what APIs are, our videos of how to do it, also how to read an API documentation for beginners, beginner key concepts and terms. We also have all of that as well. Um, and yeah, and examples of doing API calls, we have it. Yep. So that's all right there in the two docs that we just put down. Cool. Yeah. Also, too, if you are a coder and you do things with VS and you're using all different types, if you're using Atom and you're doing something with if you're using tons of different systems, this will also be in the code right there. Yeah. Um, yeah. And yeah, if you want to pay for the guides that we have, all of them. So let me show you what all of the guides look like. And then, we'll look at the payment link for a second. Where's docs? Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah. So this is just part of it. Docs includes like the API, the no code database of all the different ones that we use no code apps for. Essential tools. We go through notes on AppGyver, Flutterflow for beginners, database for beginners, Fast AI course, talking about how to use Fast SQL, talking about how to use different, if you're using Web3, if you're using ShareTribe, if you're trying to build a LinkedIn scraper, all of those different things, we have access for that. So we'll drop a link as well. Great stuff. Okay. And remember, we're going to have a brand new video that's dropping later this week talking about how to build your own streaming service. We've done past videos, how to do it in Flutterflow, all of those things. This time, we're going to show how to do it with Tuto. But we're going to go through the whole process. That's going to be our, it's like 4 months that we've been working on this. So you're going to be seeing more of that as well. So there'll be a new video on that. But if there's any news that you're looking for when it comes to AI or anything with building your business, automation, we're going to be keep building more and more for you as well. So let me know in the comment section. We're going to keep doing that. Okay. So I just dropped the link for docs as well. That will give you access to all of our different guides and all of those things. And remember, if you're interested in this one and you're just getting started, this one is our brand new guide that's completely free. So if anyone wants to check that out, again, we want to give that offering as well. All right, everybody. So we'll be back later this week with brand new content. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. We do this every single week, and we'll be seeing you all soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.